Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and today we're going to be going over how to be impressive to women and just people in general without actually impressing. Feeling like you constantly need to impress people is exhausting. I'll be the first one to say it. So this video probably isn't going to be what you think it is. I don't want to see any comments about how I shouldn't have to impress anybody. Stick with me here. I know the title is confusing, but you'll understand if you just stick with me. So in this video, again, I'm going to be going over how to be impressive without impressing. And plot twist here, it just includes you being the best you can be and working on yourself. Being impressive speaks for itself and does not need an announcement from you. So you're probably thinking, okay, Courtney, how do I do this? Number one, take care of yourself. The good news for you is that you're already on my channel, which is a one-stop shop for everything for making yourself better, improving yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, so you're in the right place. If you need style help, I've got you covered. Grooming help, I've also got you covered there. Being well-dressed in particular here is something that you should all be doing for yourself and not just to please other people or impress anyone. When you dress well, when you show up for yourself and put your best foot forward, you're going to automatically feel more confident, you're going to be a better you, and it's going to radiate in the way that people perceive you and interact with you. And when it comes to being well-dressed and taking care of yourself, it doesn't hurt that this will also catch a woman's eye and leave a good impression. A little bit of effort goes a long way. You should be showing up for yourself, putting in the effort. I've done a ton of style and grooming videos if you need help with that specifically, but really, generally speaking here, I just want to highlight the importance of putting in the effort and taking care of yourself from the inside out. Fuel your body with healthy foods, drink enough water, get enough sleep, get a haircut, trim up your facial hair and make sure you look clean and tidy, take a shower, put on some deodorant, put on a nice outfit. I mean, there are a ton of little things you can start doing to improve yourself, but really these are not difficult, and if you start doing them daily, they'll be really good habits for you to start developing. Taking care of yourself leaves a great first impression. It shows that you care, and women love that. Number two, remembering small details. So this is one of the easiest ways to win brownie points by simply just listening. She said peonies are her favorite flower and you were going to get her flowers anyway, you might as well get her some peonies. Remembering small details shows that you listen and shows that you care, which should just be happening anyways. If you're naturally into her and you're curious about her, you should be listening to the things she's saying to you and not constantly thinking about what you're going to say next or just having them go in one ear and out the other. That's not going to leave a good impression, and remembering small things and little details that she tells you about herself, again, will win major brownie points. It's impressive and endearing when someone remembers things about you that normally other people forget. Because of this, she's going to notice and it's going to make her feel special. But again, even more than just doing it to win brownie points or to make her feel a certain way, you should be listening to a person that you're into because you're trying to get to know them. Obviously, when you like someone and you're trying to get to know them, it does really help by actually listening to what they're saying. And I also want to mention here that she should be doing the same for you. If you feel like this is one-sided, you're the only one putting in time, effort, and energy, you're remembering all these things about her and she's not remembering anything about you and doesn't seem to care, you gotta walk away from that. So I do want to highlight here that it should be a two-way street and these things should be reciprocated for you as well. Number three, be a leader. And it's nothing new here that women love a man who leads. Being a leader is not only impressive to women, it's impressive in many other scenarios as well, whether it be work, with your family, with your friends. It's just incredibly beneficial for you to develop leadership skills. And just from personal experience here, watching a man be able to take charge of a situation, take lead, and really make sure things are under control is flat out sexy. And I know from talking with all my girlfriends and from just being a girl myself that other women feel the same way. I am not the only one who thinks this. Women love a man who can lead and take charge and be direct. There are so many things that fall into this category here of being a leader, but really generally speaking, being a leader is going to help out yourself in addition to being impressive to the people around you. Number four, a man with manners. You really want to be a gentleman and make sure that your manners are on full display. This could be opening the car door, pulling out her chair, walking on the side of her close to the road. I know that sounds a little bit harsh, making you walk on the outside closest to the road, so if anyone got hit, it would be you. But chances are you're probably not going to get hit by a car, and it's just a nice gesture. Old-fashioned manners seem to be quickly disappearing, and I know you guys will make the argument that women aren't acting old-fashioned or women aren't being traditional women that should be treated in a way that warrant, being a gentleman or chivalry, but I promise there are women out there who will appreciate this and it will not go unnoticed and 100% will leave an amazing impression. It's going to be impressive to her and it's going to make you look like the gentleman that I know you are. If you're the guy doing this in a sea of other guys who don't, you're going to stand out in the very best way. When we're thinking about being a gentleman and being chivalrous, I really like the saying, kill them with kindness, because I think that the right girl will respond in a good way to you being a gentleman, you showing your manners. And if she doesn't, then maybe she's just not the right girl for you. And regardless of the situation, I really don't think you can lose by being a gentleman and being chivalrous and having good manners. I think it just presents you in a very good light, and we should all be striving to be kind to each other. Even if I get a mean comment on my videos, I never say anything mean back, because I don't want to be the mean girl. I don't want to be a girl who, was hurtful to people or made someone feel bad. So regardless of what someone says to me, I will always respond with kindness. And I think that's really important to think about when you're in a situation like this, where you're like, oh, well, women don't appreciate manners, or women don't appreciate being a gentleman. Number one, the right woman will. But secondly, even if they don't, you're still going to be the gentleman. So you can't lose. Number 5 is a little saying I made up called something old, something new. And what I mean by this is teach her something you already know, or learn something new together. Sharing your interest or trying a completely new thing is a great way to connect on a deeper level. It's a great way to bond, and she's going to love the fact that you have things to show her. So sharing your interest or trying a new thing together that neither of you have done before is almost always fun. If you're teaching her something, it's a great way to show your interest, what you're passionate about, how knowledgeable you are about a situation without being braggy or showy, right? You're just teaching her, or you're explaining something to her that she's asked you to. So I think this is a great way for her to get to know you better, know what your interests are, what your passions are, what you're knowledgeable about. I think these are things that you should absolutely be sharing with the person that you want to be with. Even if she's not necessarily 100% into it as much as you are, someone who likes you will have a genuine interest in yours. The key takeaway for this one is that having interest and knowledge to share with someone makes you more interesting. Imagine you go out on a first date with a girl and you ask her what her interests are, and she says nothing. You're going to be sitting there like, okay, where do I go with this? She's telling me she's not into anything. That's not very interesting. That just doesn't leave a good impression with you, right? If I asked someone what they liked and they told me nothing, I'd be a little worried. But if you ask a girl what she's into and she talks about how she really likes gardening, or she really likes baking, or she's really into comic books or something, I don't know, it could be literally anything. Saying legitimately anything is better than her just saying nothing. So keep this in mind when you're interacting with people. Don't be afraid to show your interest, especially if she's just asking you what they are. Being knowledgeable and having interests makes you more memorable and is going to leave a much better impression than if you were to say you weren't into anything or you didn't like anything. And lastly, we have humor and inside jokes. Humor is obviously a one-way ticket to a woman's heart. You all know this. We love funny guys. And if you think to yourself, oh my gosh, I'm not funny, I don't want to make you feel bad by saying that, because it's more about just having a sense of humor and being able to banter and go back and forth, rather than being funny or like being a comedian like Pete Davidson or something and having one-liners and witty comebacks all the time. I'm not saying that you have to be like that, although that's probably why he landed Kim K. So when we're talking specifically here about inside jokes, this is a great way to build a connection, feel more comfortable, and be a little playful with each other. And I'll give you guys a little example here that's pretty silly. So when I first started talking to my fiance, I was texting him and I used the wrong form of bizarre. Thank you, autocorrect. So he went on to make me a Spotify playlist and named the playlist something about bizarre, which was the term that I had used that we were joking back and forth about. So it just made me laugh, and it was just a nice way for us to be a little playful with each other and start to build a connection. Humor and inside jokes is a great way to create intimacy and comfortability pretty early on. So again, not saying you have to be telling a joke every 5 seconds or act like a comedian. I think really just learning how to banter back and forth and be playful with each other, again, is a great way to make each other feel comfortable and build that connection early on from the start. Alright guys, that is all I have for how to be impressive to women without actually impressing. I hope now you get a clearer idea of what I meant by the title. Of course, I didn't mean going out of your way 24/7 to impress women, or to brag, or to call yourself an alpha male, or to do whatever a lot of people tell you to do on the internet. Being impressive is something that should come from you being yourself and you being naturally you, and just being the best that you can be, right? Obviously, if you're putting effort in yourself, you're learning things, you're trying to be successful, you're trying to be the best you can be, that is going to be more impressive than you being the worst that you could be, obviously. So if you liked this video or found it helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to be in the loop for when I release new content. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me over on Instagram at Courtney Christine Ryan. I love connecting with all of you guys over on there as well. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.